Today's questioner asks, how do you know if you don't need motivation and are just burnt out? This is a great question. In a society where we wear our stress like a badge of honor, it's really easy to struggle with understanding where lack of motivation ends and burnout begins. Let's start with the possibility that it's just a lack of motivation. Is there just one specific area in your life where you struggle to get things done? For instance, are you really struggling at work but have no problem keeping your house clean? Or are you struggling to accomplish everything? Do you lack the oomph to take care of anything from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep? If there's one specific area of your life where you're struggling, that's probably an issue of lack of motivation. However, if you're struggling across the board, that's more likely to be burnout. If this is an issue of lack of motivation, the next step is to dive into figuring out why you struggle with motivation in that particular area of your life. This can happen for any number of reasons, so I'll link to a blog post in the show notes below that offers 5 ways to jumpstart your motivation. Check out the post and pick the technique or techniques that resonate with you. Now, let's dive into burnout a little more. We aren't cookie-cutter humans, and so burnout will look different for everyone. Check out this episode for 7 signs you might be burnout. I'll also link to it in the show notes below. If you recognize yourself in a few of these, chances are good that you are burnt out. I also want to take a moment and recognize the distinction between burnout and depression. Both may manifest with similar symptoms. If you have a really restful long weekend or vacation and you're not feeling even a smidge better, you might be struggling with depression, not burnout. If you suspect you're struggling with depression, please seek the help of a licensed medical professional. Depression is treatable and you don't have to live like this. Finally, if you are struggling with burnout, you need to begin to refill your mental, physical, and emotional energy reserves. The only way to do this is through self-care. Self-care is so much more than a bubble bath. It includes nourishing your body with healthy food and good quality and quantity sleep. It involves engaging in activities that leave you feeling like you just got a warm, loving hug from your favorite person in the world. And what self-care looks like for you is as unique as you are. Again, we aren't cookie-cutter humans. You need to make sure you've got a self-care routine that works for you. And it's important to understand the difference between self-care, self-work, and distraction. Self-work and distraction, although often confused for self-care, will not refill your energy reserves. You can learn more about creating a self-care routine that works for you and your life in my free self-care toolkit. I'll add a link to get your copy in the show notes below. Finally, remember that whether you're dealing with burnout or lack of motivation, you didn't get here overnight and it won't change overnight. Give yourself the grace to begin to build up your motivation or your energy reserves at a pace that feels manageable to you. I'm sending you a great big hug. You've got this. I hope you enjoyed this bit of solicited advice. Make sure you subscribe to my channel to be notified whenever I post new content.